I never knew what a cult film was till we became one.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
The Big Lebowski. Why is it such a cult classic? It's just a damn good film.
Napoleon Dynamite became a piece of pop culture because it was its own thing.
Blade Runner is the greatest cult film of all time.
If you want to understand the story, girlies, we had no idea what we were doing. I would make a phone call and say, how can I hang a girl and meet her and get a PG rating? And they said, well, you can't.
Low budget movie making. Hey, anybody got a chainsaw?
I think a cult film is something that people think they've discovered.
It's a crowd pleaser.
I think it's just a cult of one. I don't have to check with anybody else. Nobody else needs to like it.
When you pick it up, it is impossible to put it down.
You can't try to do it, it just happens by accident.
I love Spinal Tap.
It takes a while for people to really understand what's going on.
It doesn't matter what generation, everybody can relate.
It has to be the audience finding the film rather than the film finding the audience.
Clockwork Orange is one of the greatest films of all time.
A very edgy drama.
Malcolm McDowell really grounds that film.
I was thrilled with it.
The Big Lebowski. Well, the more you see it, the more you see in it.
When it came out, I think it went over most people's heads.
Showgirls. I was thinking, wow, how did I get here? Like, I studied the classics.
Fans took ownership of the room, and they've turned it into this experience that we haven't really seen since Rocky Horror.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
It's mind-blowing that it had this kind of impact on people.
The fact that it flopped so badly when it came out.
Watch the door.
And then found an audience later.
Today's filmmakers all owe George Romero, especially with Night of the Living Dead, so much cred.
Everybody copies him. He's the originator. He's the master.
I saw Pink Flamingos when at the height of its popularity, and then I'd see it in court when I was charged with obscenity at 10 a.m. with 12 jurors.
Putting razor blades in her hair so if she gets into a fight and somebody grabs her hair.
That Russ Meyer was not your average exploitation filmmaker. There was something much more artful going on here. That movie is cult movie gold.
Each teenage generation, they want to be different than the generations before them. And punk rock did that for that generation of young people.
John, he'd never really smoked pot in his life. He was completely in character at all times.
Oh, no!
Warrior, come on to play!
We did it in 2 takes. I've never done it again.
Blowing up the high school. That was the hook that made Roger really want to make it. The Ramones are now my favorite group.
Point Break is one of the greatest films made.
You want to start from the beginning?